Hello there, welcome to Sarah's Stitchery. My name is Sarah and this is my channel where I talk all about cross stitch. Today is Flosstube episode number 35. It is May 11th, 2025 and it is Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to all the mamas out there. I hope you're having a lovely day. I hope you get to do all the things you want to do today. Hopefully get to relax a little bit, be pampered. A special happy Mother's Day to my mom. Hey mom. I'm gonna go visit her after I finish filming this video and yeah, I'm excited to see her. So if you are new here, welcome to my channel. I'm so glad that you found me. I hope you enjoy your time with me today. I hope you will consider liking my video, leaving me a comment to say hello and introduce yourself. And of course, I would hope that you would subscribe to my channel. And if you are returning, thank you so much for coming back and spending more time with me. I appreciate that. And I hope you enjoy yourself today as well. So I've got some things to show today. I film every 2 weeks and I always think to myself, you know, I didn't do much stitching, so I don't have much to show. But once I start pulling things together, I do have some things to show. So I'm excited. Today I've got 5 FFOs to show you. I've got 2 new starts and I've got 4 whips that I worked on. So I think we have plenty to talk about today. One of the reasons I have so many FFOs is because yesterday I went up to Craft Gallery. So my friend Allison and I and her mom Kathy drove up to Craft Gallery. We met with our friend Janetta there and we went to attend a finishing class with the designers of Manny Didana and Romy's Creations. They were lovely ladies and they demonstrated for us how to make a couple of their box finishes that I'm really excited to give a try. When I first saw the finishes, I was very intimidated. I was thinking, there's no way I'll be able to make something like that because they seem very intricate. But once they break it down step by step and show us how to do each of the steps, it actually seems doable. So I'm not going to say easy. I'm going to say doable. So I am excited to give those a try. Unfortunately, I don't have anything to show you today. Our kits were shipped to the store and they didn't quite make it in time for us. So we will be getting our kits in the mail, so we just had the demonstration. We didn't get to try our hand at anything at all, but that's okay. Like I feel like watching the demonstration and hearing the description, and we were given written directions. I feel like with all of that, like I feel pretty confident that when I receive my kits in the mail that I can go ahead and give those a try. So thank you so much to the beautiful Simona and Romy for coming to Craft Gallery and teaching us yesterday. They were so sweet and I'm so glad I got to meet them. So exciting stuff. Okay, so let's get right into it. So I'm going to start with, I'm going to not start with my frame finishes. I'll do those last because those are fun. I am going to start with my mom's Mother's Day gift. So I'm going to show this to you because by the time I get this video uploaded, she will have seen it already. So no spoilers here. So this is what I made for my mom. It's a little round salt cellar box. I got it on Amazon. I can put the link. I lined the inside with some Lady Dot velveteen and I have a little necklace I'm going to put in there for her. So it's like a little jewelry box. So this design actually came from Every Opening Flower. I stole this motif right here from the design and I stitched it and it fit perfectly on the top of my box. So I don't know what the fabric is. This was a scrap in my stash. I'm pretty sure it's a 40 count. I did 1 strand over 2. And I stitched, I love the little Smyrna crosses in the wing here. I stitched that as charted. I did change one of the colors. The berries in the chart were like a rust color. And I wanted to change them to more of like a berry color to match the velveteen that I was going to use for the inside. You can see how perfect of a match they are. I believe I switched it to Weeks Dye Works Raspberry, if I'm not mistaken. And I also added a brown in here because the I'm not even sure what this is that he's standing on, was supposed to be the same color of the green, but I wanted to pull some brown in because I wanted to use this Lady Dot rickrack that I had in my stash. I believe it's called Bird's Nest, because I wanted something that wasn't, I wanted to add a little something around the edge, but not something that was going to draw your eye away from the design. And so I wanted to use this brown rickrack, but I felt like I needed to have some brown in the design. I don't know. Anyway, I like it. I think it turned out really cute. I hope my mom likes it. I just mounted this on a circular piece of mat board that I measured and cut to size. And I think I did put a little tiny bit of batting in there, just like one layer of Warm and Natural, just to give it a little bit of softness and help round it out a little bit when I did the lacing. And the velveteen in the bottom, I laced around another circular piece of mat board, and I don't even know if I glued it in. I feel like it was such a tight fit that it's not coming out. It's not coming out. So anyway, and this has a little magnetic enclosure here. So when you close it, it's not going to come loose or be swinging around. So I hope my mom loves it. I'm going to put her little necklace in there and give it to her, and hopefully she likes it. I don't often make stitchy gifts for other people. I guess that means I'm a very selfish stitcher. I like to keep the things I stitch. But I wanted to make something special for my mom. So I hope she loves it. So I'm going to sit that over here. I'll sit like that so we can see it. Okay. All right. Moving on, my next finishes I'll show together because they are similar finishes. Well, they're the same finish. They're just different sizes. I am so proud of these finishes. These are my very first berry finishes, and they were easy. They were so easy to do. I was so intimidated. I was like, this is going to be hard. This is going to take me all day. It was super easy. So let me start with this one. So this one, oh, and I had the chart pulled and everything. Darn it. Oh, well, it's around here somewhere, and I'll find it later, I'm sure. But, sorry, it's really bugging me. I know I had it out. Anyway, so this comes from the Erica Michaels chart, English Sampler Berries. And it's a chart that includes 3 different, oh, I know where I have it. Hold, please. Here it is. So it's English Sampler Berries, and it's a chart of 3 different berries that coordinate. And so I stitched this one. This is called the Tudor Roseberry. And here's my fully finish. I'll kind of turn it around so you can see the details. I stitched this on a 40 count Winter's Brew by R&R. There's my seam right there. And I used all of the called for colors. I believe they were all Weeks Dye Works. And I used some felt that I had in stash to make the topper. There was a template for a topper in the pattern, and so I just cut it out. I made a copy, I cut it out, and I traced it onto some freezer paper, ironed that to my felt, cut it out, and voila. And I just tacked it down with some tiny stitches so it's not flying all over the place. And I added a button from my stash, and here we are. It is so tiny. Look how, here, I'll put it up in my hand for reference there. So you can see it turned out super tiny, but super cute, and I love it. And I plan to stitch all 3 from this series so I can have a little display of my English Sampler Berries. I love it so much. So my very first berry, let me back up and talk about the Mayberry Sal. I talked about it in my last 2 videos, I believe. And so the Mayberry Sal is a stitch along. Sal stands for stitch along. Is a stitch along that I'm hosting with my friends, Sarah, Allison, Karen, Lori, Emily, and Michelle. I'm hoping I don't forget anybody, and I will link all of them down below, their Instagrams. but we had met, most of us had met Linda from Erica Michaels at the Stitch Away retreat back in January. She actually sat at our table. She was so nice. And we were all like, I've never stitched a berry, have you? And so we were like, we should stitch one of her berries, like, because she did a presentation at the retreat about how to fully finish her berries. And so we decided, let's do it in May. And one of my friends had the great idea to call it the Mayberry Sal. And here we are. So if you're stitching a berry, a lot of people have joined us, and it's been really cool to see it on Instagram. If you're stitching a berry, if you want to start a berry, I mean, it's not over. Even though I'm done, I'm still stitching berries the whole month. But if you want to join us, just post your progress, post your finish on Instagram, tag us, use the hashtag MayberrySal. We love to reshare in our stories so other people can see. I've been sharing them with Linda from Erica Michaels, and she's loving seeing all of them. So stitch a berry. If you haven't stitched one before, join us. I forgot to mention that when I did my finish, I was going to look and see if there were any tutorials. I know my friends have mentioned that Helen D has a really great berry tutorial. But I first went to Erica Michaels' blog because she has written directions accompanied by pictures of each step of the process. And I found her written directions very easy to follow. And I didn't even need to find a video tutorial. So, you know, I do well with reading. It depends on what kind of learner you are. If you do better with watching somebody and following that, then a video tutorial might be for you. But reading the steps and seeing the visuals of the pictures was plenty enough for me to be able to finish this. So I love it. Ooh, it's so cute. I just love it so much. So speaking of berries, I have another berry finish. This one looks more like a carrot. It's so long. This is from Hands On Design. It is called There's a Hare in My Garden. And this was one of her releases from Nashville Needlework Market. And I stitched this up and fully finished it this past week. And it just turned out so cute. I gotta show these to you side by side because the size difference is so crazy. They are both stitched on 40 count. But obviously this one is slightly bigger. It is from Kathy's new series called Big Awesome Produce. So as you can see, this one is large. I believe she calls for a 20 count stitched over 2. So if you stitch it as called for, it's going to be huge, which is also really cool. But I decided to stitch mine on a 40 count. I used one strand of all the called for DMCs. And I think it just turned out so cute. I did look up Kathy's directions on her blog and use those as well as the knowledge I gained from the Erica Michaels blog tutorial, and it just turned out so great. I used the template that was provided in the pattern. I had to cut it down quite a bit though because this is on a 40 count, not the 20 count over 2. So, and I used the called for. I don't know if they're called for, but they are used in the model stitch, these pins from Just Another Button Company. I grabbed those when I was at the recent Steel City Stitchers retreat. The Crafty U had a shop there, and so I was able to grab those. And I just made this with felt. I did the little stem. I tied on some ribbon, and here we go. It turned out so cute. I didn't mention I filled the bottom with crushed walnut shells, and stuffed the top with, it's not polyfill. What's it called? Oh, I forget. My friend, she calls it cluster stuff. And so my friend Michelle, but when I went to Amazon to look up cluster stuff, it doesn't come up as that. It comes up as something else. I'll have to, let me grab it and show it to you. Hold up. I'm back. Lots of starts and stops today. It's this stuff. The paper is all crunched up in there. It's called Pellon Perfect Loft. And I will try to remember to put a link, an Amazon link down below. This stuff is great. It's very soft. It doesn't clump. And you don't have to like pull it apart before you stuff. You can just stuff it right in because it doesn't get lumpy. But I love this stuff. So Pellon Perfect Loft is what I use, and it's great. And and for these, my suggestion is stuff until you can't stuff no more, and then stuff it some more, because there's always room for more. And again, I just tacked down the leaves with a little stitch. I did use a blanket stitch on the outside edges of the leaves, because this is actually 2 pieces of felt stitched together. So there we are. I feel like I've talked a long time about my berries, but they are pretty magnificent, so I love them. Let's sit those back here so we can look at them some more. Okay, and then yesterday when I was at Craft Gallery, I picked up my framing. So my friends and I had gone to Craft Gallery back in February. We did a little Galentine's Day swap that I talked about back in February. And we also dropped off some things for framing. And so I hadn't been back there. It's like 2.5 hours away from where I live. So I hadn't been back there since. So this was my first time going back, and I was able to pick up my framing while I was there. And I'm super excited to show it to you. So let's do it. So this first one I'm going to show you was my blessing sampler. I stitched it in the month of January, my first blessing sampler ever. And for those of you who are wondering what a blessing sampler is, it's basically you start a sampler in the month of January, in the first month of the new year, and you try to finish it within that month. And the idea is that your needle will be blessed for the rest of the year. And so here is mine. Oh, it turned out so good. I am so pleased with this. So this pattern is from the Blue Flower. It's called The Color of Winter. I love the saying. It says, the color of springtime is in the flowers. The color of winter is in the imagination. And I love that the word imagination is done in just a little bit lighter of a color. It goes with the snowflakes. I just love the riot of color in this. I did use all of the called for, with the exception of the dark purple. I switched, I don't remember what I switched it to. I did not have the called for, and the DMC equivalent just wasn't working for me. I didn't like it. So I pulled a darker purple from Stash, and I think it turned out really good. My fabric is a 46 count ballet slippers from Fox and Rabbit. And it just turned out so pretty. Like I said, I'm very pleased with this. I love this frame. It's a dark frame with like some gold bronzish accents to it. I don't know if you could see, but all along this border here inside the frame, these are bows. I just thought those are really cute feature of the frame. It's hard to see unless you're up close, but you might be able to see those. They're all bows. I just thought that was so cute. Just a cute little detail in there. But that's my finish. So I was trying to decide. I did not get glass in this one because my thought was like, this is more of a seasonal piece. I'm only going to have it out, in the winter probably. But the more I look at it and look at the colors, I think this could be an all year. I think this could stay out all year. So I'm not sure where in my house I'm going to hang it yet, but it's going somewhere because it's gorgeous and it needs to be seen. So that is my blessing sampler. Love it. Okay, don't fall. All right. And then my final fully finished that I picked up is my Sparrow sampler. This is from With Thy Needle and Thread, Pink Sparrow Sampler, excuse me, that's what it's called. It's called Pink Sparrow Sampler. This is from With Thy Needle and Thread. I did use all of the called for colors with the exception of this light orange. I did not have that called for, and so I picked something in my stash that was very similar to what the called for was. So this does still look like how it's charted. So I'll bring you in a little closer so you can see the details. I apologize that I don't remember what the fabric is. I feel like it was a needle and flax. Dirty teacup? I'm not sure. It's a 46 count, but I think the colors in the pattern look really great on this fabric. I chose this frame because it really mimics that mauve-y color in the pattern. It's coming across a little dark here, but I just love it. So very happy to have these. I did get glass in this one. I got the museum glass because I do want to keep this one out all year. And I still haven't decided where I'm hanging this one yet either. I just got these yesterday, so I'm going to have to kind of walk around my house and see where is this going to look good. This might be a good one for the bedroom. I don't have any stitching. No, that's a lie. I don't have stitching on my wall in my bedroom. I do have a bookshelf in my bedroom that has some stitching. So yes. All right. Let's sit that over here. Have all my beautiful finishes there. Okay, I do have one more FFO to show, a framed piece. It's not mine though, but I have to show it to you because yesterday when Allison and I went to Craft Gallery, we also picked up a piece for our friend Karen who was unable to go. And so it's in my possession for a short amount of time. I'm either going to give it to her if she comes to get it, or I get to hold on to it till StitchCon. So I'm so excited to have this in my craft room because it is lovely. You're going to love this. Just prepare yourself, okay? Isn't that amazing? I love this so much. So I don't know what the pattern is called. It's not on the back here. I don't know what the pattern is called because I didn't stitch it, but I do know that you could probably guess who the designer is. What's your guess? Okay, you're right. It's Satsuma Street. It's Satsuma Street. Look at those colors. I'm guessing she stitched this on a 32 count. It looks like she used 2 strands over 2. It is phenomenal. Phenomenal. So like I was with her when she was choosing this frame. My friends and I were all there, and she was having the hardest time finding a frame. We were pulling different colors and everything she was looking at. She was like, no, that's not it. And I can't remember if we saw the pink first or the yellow first, but she put that on it and we're like, okay, maybe. And then somebody, I think it might have been Allison, had the really great idea to layer the yellow frame on top of this pink frame. Game over. So this is a double frame. There are 2 frames here. So it is double framed, and I think it was the perfect choice. This is so stunning. So I had grabbed this to take home with me, and the ladies there at the class yesterday were just, they were in awe of this. They're like, oh my gosh, let me see that. Let me see that. I wish I could have claimed it as my own, but I was like, I didn't stitch it. My friend Karen did. So this is Karen's finish. It's amazing. I had to show it to you while it was in my possession. So I love it. It's gorgeous. I need to stitch more things that look like this. Not that the things I stitch aren't lovely, but wow, this would be fantastic for my craft room. Might have to stitch this or something from Satsuma. I don't think I've ever stitched anything from Satsuma. I might need to. All right, I'm going to sit that back here. Don't fall. Okay, fantastic. All right, let's get into my new starts. I don't know if I mentioned to you, but I do have a couple of giveaways today. So stick around till the end because I'll do those then. All right, new starts. Let's start with this first one here. So this one is Stacy Nash, the Mary Bovee sampler. I've had this in my possession for some time now. This is a design from 2016. So it's one of those ones where the picture on the front is like an actual photograph that's like glued to the front. So I've had this in my stash for a while. I've been wanting to start it. And then I saw on Mrs. Jones Stitches that she and Nicole Spohr were starting this as a stitch along. And I was like, well, that's a great time to pull it out and get a start on it. My friend Handmade by Sarah W. also got a start on it. And here we are. That's my start. Not much to it. I only worked on it for one evening. I am using, let me pull the colors out here. I am using mostly the called for, I believe it's all Gentle Arts. I did add in, which one did I add in? I added in this color right here. It's a limited edition color from Gentle Arts. I also added in a green because the vines and the leaves here are charted. I forget what color it was charted in. Might have been this color. I believe they were charted in this color here. I pulled DMC 610. I probably didn't have the called for. I didn't want my vines and my leaves to be brown. So I pulled out this green. It's very variegated. It's Bullfrog by Weeks Dye Works. So that's what I'm using. I didn't go too far with it because I'm not entirely sure I'm going to stick with that green. Also, I chose to do the alphabet in this limited edition color. And I'm not entirely sure I'm going to keep that either because as you can see, it's very ghosty. It's very hard to see. So I thought I was getting all creative here, but I'm not sold on my choices. That's okay. You know, sometimes you got to try things and they may work out, they may not. So that's my start. So I'm probably going to work my way down a little bit to, where's that pattern? Probably going to try to work my way down to some of these things down here and see, you know, what I think about my colors as a whole, you know, getting more of the elements in and seeing how the colors play together might help me make up my mind about some things. I probably am not going to stitch Mary Bovee's name. I don't know if I'll put my name or just leave that blank or put something else there. We'll see. But that's my start. I am stitching this on what's my fabric? It's Old Linen by XJU Design. It's a 40 count. And stitching 1/2. So that's my start on Mary Bovee. And I'm keeping it in this really cute bag from Bella Rose Needlework. Bella Rose Needleworks, yes. So I thought those colors looked great with this bag. Okay, my next start is another berry from the English Sampler Berries that I showed you earlier. Let me set this to the side here. All right, so this time I decided to stitch this one. This one's called Honeysuckle Berry. And I have a little start on it. So that's upside down. There we go. Just a little start on this one. I am stitching it on the same fabric as I stitched the other one on because I want them to all look the same. So this is 40 count Winter's Brew by R&R, and I'm stitching with all of the called for colors, and that's what I've got so far. So I have been color completing on these. My friend Sarah from Handmade by Sarah, Sarah W, who is also stitching the same berries, by the way. She's a color completer. And so I've been trying out some color completing on these berries since they're a lot smaller than the things I usually stitch. And that's where I'm at so far. So I'm finishing up this lighter green. I've got some to do over here and some to do over here and some to do down here. So, that's my progress so far. These are super quick to stitch up. The first one I did within a matter of like 2 days, 2 evenings. And this one's taking me a bit longer, but I haven't been doing much stitching. So if you're new here, I'm a teacher. I'm a 4th grade teacher. So I've got 2 weeks of school left. That's 2. I've got 2 weeks of school left. I'm not counting down the days. I totally am. I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted. We have been doing a lot of testing, which is hard. It's hard for little kids to do that much testing. So we're all getting a little bit exhausted and ready to have some fun, some end of the year fun. So we've got 1 more week of testing left, and then we've got the fun stuff like field day and everything coming up. But I'm entering that phase of just being completely exhausted, and I just don't get much stitching done at night, and that's okay because summer's coming and I'm going to be stitching a lot. So so anyway, I'm keeping my berries in this bag from Painted Leaf Co. It's so cute. It's got all the strawberries on it. This is made by my sister, Megan. She's the maker, not Painted Leaf Co. I'm sorry. Pepper Pot Shop. Painted Leaf Co. is my sister and my mom both have project bag making businesses, and they're both amazing at what they do. But this is from my sister's shop, Pepper Pot Shop. She has this cute little strawberry on there. So I don't know that she has this bag in there anymore necessarily. She might, I don't know. You'd have to go look. But she's got a lot of really cute bags. So go check her out. I always link her below. Next, I have... Tread Softly. Oh, so those were my new starts. I'm moving into my whips now. So this one's called Tread Softly. It's by not the Blue Flower, Lindy Stitches. This was something I had received from my kids on Mother's Day back in 2021. And I have since restarted it because I didn't care for the fabric I was stitching it on. And my restart is going fantastically. I'm using all the called for, hold on 1 second, let me stick this on my board here. Using all the called for with, so far I've made 1 change to the colors. Let me show you my progress. Here it is. I'm stitching this on, Bee Stitch Me 40 count. I think it's called A Little Sassy. I got this in the Fabric of the Month Club recently, and I think it looks really cute. Working on this owl, getting this owl filled in. So I've got some fill-in to do here in the body, but I think that owl is looking great. One of my viewers had said in a comment, it looks like he's kind of like camouflaged in, in the forest, and that's totally what I thought when I picked this fabric. So I'm glad that's coming across. I like this modeling up here. It looks kind of like a big moth, right? I just noticed that. So I'm using all the called for colors. There are some dinky dyes in here. The rest are DMC. And I did pull 1 color in cotton called Azure. And I'm using that here because that star was white and I stitched it in the white and it was not showing up at all. So I'm using this color for that. And I changed these stars. They were supposed to be like these brownie colors that are in the owl. And I knew that those colors, as standalones were going to fade into the background. So I changed it to the yellow that's already over here. And this blue was already in the color palette as well. So here's my color palette. Very pretty. I cannot wait to use this purple. Oh, that's gonna be great. No, that's not the same as this color. This color is Williamsburg Red. Oh, that's a Weeks Dye Works. Yeah, this color is Williamsburg Red. But I cannot wait till that purple comes in. The purple's down here in these flowers. So I cannot wait to stitch those flowers. Those are going to be so brilliant. But that's my restart. I'm loving it. I've already made a whole lot more progress on it as a restart than I did originally. So Yes, that's great. I cannot wait to get back to that one. This was in a project bag I made myself back in 2021. I don't make project bags. I'm a very novice sewer. So, you know, I leave it up to the experts. I leave it up to people like my sister and my mom. So, all right, my next whip is Rose Hill Farm. Oh, darn it. That one is on my iPad. Hold, please. Okay, I'm back. I felt like I was way more prepared today than I actually was, so here we are. So this is the Rose Hill Farm sampler. This was a market release from Stacy Nash, and I'm stitching that sampler there in the middle with the big red barn. I didn't get much progress on this, but I did work on it a little bit one evening, so I was like, well, progress is progress. I'll show it to you anyway. So, because who doesn't love seeing a beautiful big red barn? So, there it is. Like I said, I didn't get much accomplished since I saw you last. I did bring the border over and up just a little bit, and I started on a tree. So, not much, but any progress is progress. I'm stitching this on 40 count Dead Sea Scroll by Seraphim, and I'm using all of the called for colors. So I want to get back to this one soon. I'm stitching this with my friend Sarah, and I'm stitching it with our friend Michelle from Michelle Lee Quilts. And interestingly enough, I'm keeping this in a project bag from my friend Michelle Lee Quilts. I wanted to put it in this because of all the red, since it's got that big red barn. So there's that. All right, I've got 2 more whips to show you, I think, and then we'll do giveaways. So, okay, my next whip is Spring Sampler Fragment. This was also a market release. I was really into the market releases this year. There were so many good ones. But here we are. This is from Shakespeare's Peddler. I just love this. I am using the called for fabric. The called for fabric is 40 count Dark Soil by XG Design. And I'm using all the called for colors. And I think it is just turning out super cute. I added on to the border. I was working, let me move this over a little bit. Here we go. There we go. So I was working on the border, and so I brought this all the way down, and now I'm ready to come across this way. And I can't remember if I moved it over, but I know I worked down. So just worked on the border a little bit. I'm really excited to get down here to this house and work on that house. I want to get this little wreath in with the bird, but I've been trying to eat my vegetables and work on that border and get some of the stuff done that I don't love doing. That's another tip I get from my friend Sarah. She always loves to do her borders first. Well, not necessarily because she's a color completer, but she doesn't save the border till last. So she always tells me, don't save the border till last, because she knows I complain about it. Oh, I'm learning. Anyway, here's another bag from my sister's shop, from Pepper Pot Shop. This beautiful bee bag. It's so cute. I love the swirlies up here. Got the gray inside. Got your honeycomb charm. My mom and my sister always put the cutest charms on their bags. And I'm a terrible daughter. I don't think I have any of my mom's bags out today. Oh no, sorry, Mom. I do have one of her bags handy though. Hold up, let me show you, because this was her most recent. I think she already put this one in the shop. Yeah. Oh, I think she calls this one Whimsy Garden. I love the colors in this. I had this handy because it's got my, I don't know why I'm showing this to you because I didn't do any work on it, but it's got my blue flower Night Walk Down in it. So I have this handy because I would like to work on it some more. I showed it in my last video. I haven't done anything on it since, but I got it right here. So there it is. I really need to work on that some more. So speaking of my friend Sarah, she's almost done with the border of that one. So here's a bag from Painted Leaf Co. Oh my gosh. So that's one of my mom's bags. There's her little logo there. So I always link to both of their shops in every video, so go check them out. And thank you to everybody who does support my mom's and my sister's shops. That means a lot to me, and it means a lot to them, so thank you. All right, my final whip of the day. I've been really like loving this one lately. I worked on this one yesterday a little bit when I was at Craft Gallery. This is another Shakespeare's Peddler, and it is another market release. This is, let me show you the chart first. This is Kindness Makes Friends by Shakespeare's Peddler. It's so cute. I love those long droopy strawberries in the border. I love the big red house. I love all of like the stitchy paraphernalia over here. You've got the scissors, you've got the thread. What are these? Oh, those are chimneys. I'm like, what are those? Chimneys. Yeah. Got the little quilt stars. So there's that. And here's mine. I love it so much. So since you saw it last, I've kind of been jumping around because I was working on the border first. I was being a good girl. And then since you saw it last, I've come in and added these strawberries into the border. I started on some letters, and I was coming down here and filling in the stripy grass yesterday. So I'm stitching this on a 40 count gray spinel by Fiber on a Whim. It was one of their new colors for market. And I did a complete color conversion. My flosses are a little messy looking. I did a complete color conversion to Color and Cottons, Roxy Floss Co., and then there's a couple of DMCs in there, but here are my colors. I really wanted to brighten up the color palette. So everything's still true to the original colors. I didn't do anything crazy, but I just wanted to brighten it up a little bit. I was trying to pull all the called for fancy flosses, and I don't think I had very many of them in stash. And the ones I was pulling just looked a little dim to me. And I knew I was going to be doing it on this gray fabric, so I wanted some of my colors to pop a little bit more. So I did a color conversion. I really love this red here. This is Clara by Color and Cotton. I love this pink here too. Look at these two colors together. Oh, so good. This pink is also from Color and Cotton. It's called Bombay. It's what I used in this strawberry up here, so you can see it's variegated. So I like my color choices. I brightened up the lighter blue. So I love how it's coming out so far. I think it's going to be awesome. I cannot wait to get to that house, but I'm trying to do some of the other stuff first. Don't do all the fun stuff first. So here we are. That's my progress. And I'm keeping that in another Michelle Lee Quilts bag. I thought these colors went well with the chart. So there we are. Okay. That was my stitching. That's all my stitching. So let's get into my giveaways. I have 2 of them today. And I mean, technically 3. And then we can say goodbye, and then I can go visit my mom and give her gift. I hope she loves it. So my first giveaway is from my friend Jody, Simply Stitching Ocala, on Instagram, on Flosstube, and on Etsy. She has a wonderful Etsy shop. She just recently celebrated her 1-year anniversary of her shop opening, so congratulations, Jody. So I went over there and ordered some things from her shop to celebrate. And so she sent a little giveaway for all of you. This was the new release for Valentine's Day from Primrose Cottage Stitches. It is called Valentine's Day Quilt. You can see Jody has included the called for DMCs in here for you. And she wanted me to give that away to one of you. And so I will. So if you would like to win the Valentine's Day quilt, I just love those colors. Look at those. you can use the word quilt in your comment. And you will be entered to win. And I will send that out to you. So quilt for that one. And then I was contacted by a designer. I had actually been contacted by her last year and gave away a couple of her PDF charts. She's a newer designer. And she recently started getting printed, like, printed patterns. I believe before she was exclusively PDF, but now she has actual physical copies of her charts. And so she reached out to me because she knows I'm really excited about strawberry stitching for the summer. And she was like, I've got a couple of strawberry designs in my shop I would love to give away. And I'm like, yeah, that'd be great. And so I'm giving away 2 physical copies today of her charts. This first one is from a monthly series that she has called the All Piled Up series. And this one is June, and it is called Strawberries. And there it is. I love the variegated fabric she stitched it on. Very cute. It does just call for 3 DMC colors, so it would be very easy to kit up. And the stitch count is 70 by 70, so that would be a very cute, quick stitch. That would be cute to do for like a smalls exchange. Looks like here she's got it like on a little like wooden display piece with some bows up here. That would be really cute. It would make a cute little pillow. So if you would like to win this chart, use the word June in your comment. Maybe tell me something interesting you're doing in the month of June. And then the next chart she has is called Strawberry Minis. So this has 3 charts in one. Look at those cute little charts. I love the fresh jam. This one's very sweet too with the little flowers in the corners. This one's also kitted up in DMC, and each of the stitch counts are only 44 by 44. So those would also be very quick to stitch up. Here's her logo down here, Ladybug Stitches. And the designer is Hannah Webster. And you can find her on Instagram at ladybug.stitches. And she's also on Etsy as Ladybug Stitches Shop. I will be linking her and Jody, Simply Stitching Ocala, down below. So you can go check them out on social media and on their Etsy shops. And of course, check out Jody's Flosstube. But if you would like to win this chart, why don't you use the word jam? Yeah, use the word jam. You don't, if you want to use the words in a sentence, that's fine. If you just want to throw the words in your comment, like, that's fine too. I'm not picky about it. But I will choose a random comment and pick winners for the next video. So just as a recap, if you want to win the Valentine's Day quilt donated by Jody from Simply Stitching Ocala, use the word quilt. If you want to win the June strawberries, use the word June. And if you want to win the strawberry minis, use the word jam. Please do not use the words giveaway, win, winner, free, freebie in your comments, because that attracts trolls. And I want these charts to go to people who actually want to stitch them. So just leave those words in your comment and I will pick a winner from those comments to be given away next time on my channel. So I think that was everything. Oh, I did want to mention before we go for Hannah, if you don't win her chart, but you would like to check out her offerings, like I mentioned, she has an Etsy shop and she also has physical copies of her charts. So you could always ask your LNS if they carry her charts, or you could ask them to special order them for you, or you could go and download PDFs from her Etsy shop. So there you go. Okay, I do think that is everything now. So I'm going to say goodbye. I'm going to get ready, go visit my mom. I'm hoping to get a little quiet stitching time in today, and my family's going to take me out to dinner later, and I just am looking forward to a relaxing, stitchy day, and I hope you guys also get to do the things that you want to do today, and I hope everybody has a wonderful day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.